What's up, everyone? CR2 here, bringing you the NASCAR Legends 87's guide for week 11. This time we're going to be at Legacy Pocono. So just really quickly, we're going to get into the qualifying lap fairly quickly this time around. 65 air temp, just straight click off of the test drive button from looking at the series schedule. 69 degrees of track temp. And just my own personal preferences, 12 to 1 again, keep it short. +4 and 49.2. May go a click down, may go 2 clicks up, just depending how the car feels. Again, mostly a preference thing, but I want to say that sweet spot for rotation without locking up your rear is probably about 49.2%. Be sure not to spin the tires. Pretty much the general tire cheese, as I don't want to call it that, but don't try to go much faster than 100 miles per hour up until you're in the short chute to turn 3. Nope. Been missing shifts all day, man. Just kind of take the tonal turn slow. You only have 5 minutes, so be sure not to take too long getting up to speed, or reset quickly if you have to take your second lap. Enter in up high. Get your nose pointed towards the start-finish line. Try to get yourself the straightest, longest exit as possible. Full throttle for a good run up to the start line. You will be in third gear through that, of course. 168 at the line. I forgot to set a reset point, so okay. Brake at the 1, be sure to downshift. Carry some speed. Got to be very aggressive. Carrying your speed through the turn. Tunnel turn is a very important one to hit. Take that as fast as you possibly can. You're going to brake for qualifying around that black sign on the wall. Again, like turn 1, try to carry as much speed as possible, modulate your throttle, and once you kind of feel confident you'll make it, you can go full throttle there. At a 57.46. So we'll hop on out really quick, go over the braking points, your visual markers. Clicked entirely the wrong one. Want to brake at the 1 for your qualifying pace. Do your best to get all your braking done before your turn in, and then just carry your speed. You don't really want to be braking all the way up until you're in the center. Sure, you make the turn, but you can carry so much speed through if you get your braking kind of just not a quick brake stab, but extended quick stab. And then my braking marker, let's go a couple frames forward, or actually, that helps. Oh, let's just go from in car. So right about here, you see this darker patch of pavement that goes across the whole track. That's my braking marker for turn 2. Can probably push it a car length further, but any further than this where I've braked, I found myself overshooting the tonal turn, which is very important to hit for a good qualifying lap. And even if you can hit that pretty precisely, consistently throughout the race, it's a very important turn to have an edge up on. If you ask me, in my opinion, turn 2 is the most important turn to be good at for whether legacy Pocono or current day version of Pocono, but right here, that's my braking marker. A little bit loose. I even missed the gear. I'm surprised I was able to catch that. You'll still stay in third gear. Brake at that black sign. Try to carry some speed. Maybe modulate your brake a little bit just to make sure you can make the turn. Get aggressive on the throttle. And there you go, 57.4. My all-time best is 57.1, but that's from the previous visit here in April this year, sometime during season 2, I believe. Let's get on in there for what is the live temperatures. Even dropped a degree when the sun is behind the clouds, so not a big difference. We'll treat this as if this is a green flag pit exit. So, really quickly, some thoughts. The gearing on this setup is very, very long. I'm not sure if draft can make a difference with the 87s, because it's really only at Daytona and Talladega that I felt the draft is strong to actually make you significantly faster. It may make a difference, but I don't think it'll be a big, big difference. Negligible. And see just how long this gearing is. Those of you who have raced here from the previous visit, you may notice this feels painfully slow. And in my opinion, it is. Missed the gear again. I jumped in for practice, first practice yesterday, and I'm just thinking in my head, this is painfully slow. The gearing was not this long before, right? And I'll show you guys a comparison shortly. Missed the gear again. Keep it in third gear. Essentially, you're shifting through nearly every turn, except for turn 3 because you're still in third gear from going to third gear in the tunnel turn. So, first lap run pace, this is lap 7 of the total practice so far. 58.0. Don't forget to upshift, of course, guys. You're going to want to brake between the 2 and 1 about halfway through, because this being long run pace, you do want to keep tire life in mind. So in fact, I think that was a little bit too fast for the first lap, but no matter. You're going to upshift to 4th. Brake at or before that, downshift to 3rd. Try not to miss like I'm doing every time. And you'll stay in 4th, or stay in 3rd, excuse me. Carry your speed through. Let's see how far this fall off is. I'm very sure it's not a 6/10 fall off, trust me guys. Different braking marker and such. Carry your speed on through, kind of feather it a little bit just to maintain your speed. Once you kind of see that wall straightening out, you can get back to full throttle. That's a little bit of overdriving. this is why I say it's important to not brake so much. You can carry your speed into the corner through all 3 turns at Pocono. It's just it's tough to do. You want to often I find myself wanting to have all of my braking done as soon as possible, but it's not the fastest way for Pocono. So try to carry your speed. Brake at that Pocono sign, carry your speed on in, and you see the car is not pushy whatsoever and so much faster. More realistically, we should be at a 58.8. Missed it. There we go. If you guys are doing a clutchless downshifting like I am here, just make sure you blip your throttle up enough. But definitely clutch for upshifting. Your gear changes take significantly longer if you don't. Overdrove that slightly. On the throttle a little, slightly too early. .98. Just really quickly, next time around I'll show you guys a comparison. Last visit and before, you had the option of, come on Reyes, gotta stop doing that. You could stay in 4th gear around the whole track. You could downshift to 3rd in turn 1, more like turn 3, but turn 1 was also an option. Or you could just stay in 4th gear altogether. But this time you have to downshift. So from here on, we'll stay in 4th gear after this next upshift. And just note how much slower it is. And 59.3 is still fairly slow. Carry some speed, modulate your throttle, and just look how far the RPMs are dropping, almost 4.5. And I'm full throttle. It's bogged down so far. You have got to downshift in. You've got to downshift to 3rd. And this is if you stay in 4th gear the whole way around. Right now we should be in 3rd. And I'm overdriving. I'm just thrown off entirely by the sound. And just look how much slower that is. Easily a second plus. You have to downshift. Forgot to do it there. Little loose if you get the curb, be careful of that. We're gonna go one more click down on the brake bias, or two in fact. Be patient on throttle exiting the tunnel turn. You will have to lift if you see that wall coming at you. Overdrove that. Go again a click lower. 59.0. I want to say that's about where the lap time fall off should stop. We'll do a few more laps to get a bigger sample size. We were able to carry a little more speed that time through the turn. As far as fuel numbers go, 30 to go, remaining fuel. I want to say 35, 36 gallon, 36 laps of fuel max. Could probably push a little bit further than that, but I would say the number to pit is lap 35 if you've got a full green race going. You can pit and you won't lose a lap, so long as minute-long laps vary a long time. If you're very far behind, that's where you'll lose a lap by pitting. A little too fast. I would certainly say confidently 9 gallons should get you there. Carry your speed through. Just modulate a little bit. Too much of that curb. Car does not like that. Through the tunnel turn, you don't really want to try to carry too much speed through. Stay in third. I want to upshift to fourth. Turn 2 is kind of more like get all of your braking done right away. There's a couple different line choices through turns 1 and 3. The tunnel turn, otherwise turn 2, is pretty well similar to Indianapolis. Very one groove, very single lane. Going in too wide but not losing any time is very, very difficult. And 3 wide, try not to be in that situation because I don't think good things will happen. I feel like for turn 1, it's better to favor a higher entry than a cut down exit so you can get on the throttle sooner. Turned in too early that time. And the same thing for turn 3. Kind of favor a higher line. This is too high a little bit, in fact. But you see I'm just gaining all of that time back, and it sets you up for a faster run down the longest straightaway, I'm fairly sure, in all of NASCAR. Kind of feather your throttle, maintain your speed. Once you kind of see the end of the safer barrier coming into your view, that's pretty well a good marker. You can get back to full throttle. Feels better to brake at that stripe across the pavement. Keeps me from turning in too early. Try to be in that darker lane, so to speak. Don't catch that curb. And you see that's probably roughly 0.2 faster. The only kind of drawback I've found with this cut down line to get the throttle sooner is it does tend to feel a little bit looser on exit, so be careful of that. Don't be too quick getting back to full throttle. Kind of smooth application. Don't just stomp it. I pitched that in a little bit too quick. .24. And I really encourage you guys to practice that sort of braking where you're still carrying some speed into the turn. If you're able to do that, it's a big advantage to have. Try to have all your braking done before you turn in for the tunnel turn. That is too fast again. And for turn 3, kind of once you see that turn 3 Pocono signage on the wall, I think that's a very good marker to be back on throttle. Very, very nice drive off the turn. Don't have to lift one bit. Car is not fighting me. 59.007. Carry your speed, kind of modulate your throttle. Once you see pretty well and a safer barrier right here, or that black Monster Energy sign, once that's in your view, I think that's going to be a good marker. Adjust around there. And just my thoughts about how the race will go. I think this kind of a very similar mindset to Indianapolis. The fall off is not as quick as Indianapolis was, but long track, not a lot of turns for tires to be a big advantage. And then just nature of Pocono, it tends to have a lot of yellows depending on the split, who's in the race and whatnot like that. So last time around, I'm sure I ran a race 50 laps, no fuel, without pitting, because through yellows you were able to just save that. You didn't have to pit. Very nice drive off that time. 59.0, 59.1s, I want to say is where your fall off should stop. You want to aim for right around there. What I don't know with the gearing is if draft will have a significant effect. Just from past experience, other than Daytona and Talladega, draft is massive there. I don't think it'll have a big effect. I could be wrong. This is something that we will have to wait until the new week starts to find that out. But I think qualifying well is definitely, what you want to try to do. And probably want to say lap 11 is about the earliest lap you can pit, fill it up, and you should be able to make it. So if you get a yellow around that point, definitely take the fuel. Tires, I would leave that up to you. I would try to refrain from taking tires until lap 20, but I'm very sure the yellows won't fall that way. However, don't let the chance for a lot of yellows push you away from racing this. I think Pocono is a very fun track. I enjoy it. Entirely its own unique racetrack. Nothing else like it as far as ovals that we go to. Probably Nazareth being the closest thing to it, which unfortunately a track we don't have. And more unfortunately, likely never will. Be sure to blip up your throttle enough to catch third gear if you're doing clutchless downshifting. Auto blip should work just fine, though I have no idea. I don't run it. Try to have turn 2 as a turn that you can run best at this track. If you can nab it correctly lap after lap, it's going to pay you dividends through a long run. And of course, don't try to overdrive entries like I am here. But late run through good tire saving, 59.0s should be around where your lap times stop falling off. We'll go for a practice green flag pit stop this time. Do a Mach 2 tire pit stop, as well as we ran 20 laps pretty well. Put the brake bias up just a tiny bit. Stick to the low line, what I would do for entering pit. I want to say nab your downshifts. I'll point it out after a few laps on 2 tires where you should brake for a green flag stop.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Tires are going to be 83, 82. If you're pretty well just a 1% split on your right side tires wear, you're doing, I think, top-notch job.
Move it, move it.
Two tires, I'm sure, would feel very, very nice. Have not practiced it yet, I must admit. Oh, yep, loose on throttle, careful. Loose in general, be careful for the first couple laps. Feels very nice through turn two. Just be careful not to clip that curb. Half a second faster. Trending to be half a second faster. Oh, that is loose. Be careful. Be careful through turn one. I would say even race a lane up on two tires for a couple laps. Badly overdrove that center there. Yeah, right side tires versus old tires. Very easily 6 to 7 tenths faster for a couple laps. Try to stay that lane up. I want to cut it down. Just hardwired into my brain. That is loose. Be careful exiting turn one on two tires. Call it the fun slide. All right, I think we'll bring this guy to a close. Really quickly, we'll go over what I use as my braking marker for a green flag pit stop. Right here where you see what what is used for an infield road course, I think, where that comes out, and this grass right here has a corner. Right there, once I see that edge, that pointed edge of the grass, get around to around my A pillar, that's where I'm braking. This did feel a little conservative. I think you could push that a little bit later, but around that marker, I'm very sure if you wait till right here, I'm fairly sure that you will be heading to pit road too fast. But set yourselves up for braking somewhere around here. Adjust closer, farther If you can get closer, then absolutely awesome. That's more time that you gain entering pit road. Really quickly, yeah, 97, 96. So expect just a slightly more right rear wear. But if you're able to keep that within a percent split, if you can keep your tire wear perfectly even, then absolutely awesome. That is what you want. Just to sum it up really quickly, absolutely you have got to downshift to third. Do not leave it in fourth. You're going to lose a ton of time. Fuel savings possible with a bunch of yellows, but don't head into a race with that locked in for your mindset. Could have a bunch of yellows, could go full green. Um, but I think best thing to do for this track is prioritize track position. Tough to pass, fairly single groove, two grooves if you ask me for turn one and turn three as well. But tough to pass altogether, and especially with how long the gearing is, I just don't know. I think it'll be very tough to pass with gearing that long unless draft gives gives a massive help to the trailing car. Try to favor high entries, straighter and shallow exits for turns one and three. Um, I feel like it gives you better runs for the longer straights of the track. If under green, I want to say 9 gallons of fuel for a full green race should get you there. And right side tires, definitely be careful. Very loose on exit for what felt like turn one to me. But nonetheless, um, I think this is a very fun track, very unique, fun to have three entirely different corners through the track. Just do wish the gearing was faster, but hopefully I'm surprised that it does give us good racing. Uh, Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Good luck this coming week. Any questions you have for me in the comments, feel free to ask. I'll happily reply to the best of my knowledge for this car, this track, anything pertaining to this guide. And take care, guys. See you all next week, and catch you in the next video.